Hundreds of thousands of people were registered in the first project on the Simoxi structure. I don't know exactly. Tens of thousands were in the Duinov project. I am not mistaken, about 300,000 people who bypassed my structure accordingly. Some kind of experience of knowledge, how it all happens, how it works. I have results, and now we are starting a new project. And this is just a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in the airship project to earn money right now through the partnership program. Even if you've been very involved in it, are you still interested in this project in some way? Affiliate program for airships, where any work begins. Few people know about it. There are many steps in sales, but there is the so-called zero step that you all must do for yourself anyway, whether you want to or not. This so-called zero step is about selling the product to yourself. Earning through the partnership program is about making money by attracting people and investing. So essentially that's it. Sales. If you're in sales, I think you understand this. So the very first point is that you can engage in any partnership programs, any projects, and sell any product. And it's very important at the initial stage to choose the right product. And if you like airships, the very topic itself, then you need to sell it to yourself very deeply. Like in my case, it was about 3 years of thinking and meetings. I pestered Fedor with questions. I argued about this topic, convincing myself. I was a skeptic, not just an enthusiast. I avoided it for a long time. It seemed big and complicated. For 3 years I sold, but you don't have to. That is, for a long time I didn't want to do this. I didn't understand it, something big and complicated. And in short, basically all I've done these past 3 years is sell, which doesn't mean you have to do it. Basically, I've now concentrated all my experience, and so we present it in presentations, webinars, and so on. So the first thing I recommend doing is to really dive deep personally. Study the topic of airships, rewatch all the videos, reread all the chats, and go over all our conferences. So it's about really seeing deeply that there is interest in this topic, that this technology is cool, and just feeling it. What do you like about it? Do you like it not from the perspective of profit, not from the perspective of earnings, not from the perspective of the partnership program, but just because airships as a technology, the very idea of creating a project to build airships is inspiring. It inspires for patriotic reasons. It inspires because of the ambition of the project. You just want to fly. You must understand airships and be comfortable with them. It should resonate with you. Be aware of recent oppositions and understand why they're gone. So it really resonates with you. You need to be aware of all the oppositions that have come up recently. And you should know, yes, they existed, and I understand why they're not around anymore. Yes, I would like them to exist. First, we sell this product to ourselves. So basically, it's just about studying the chat, going through the materials, and checking out the YouTube channel. That's what needs to be done. It's basically about soaking up the information and making a decision. That's the first thing, number one. Next, everything we will do will be connected. As they teach at BM, there are basically two entities. This is a flow, and this is accordingly a platform where there is some kind of offer. And then there's the offer to invest. It's about generating attempts to get people involved in this project. So now we will figure it out. Where do people come from? So what are the sources of traffic and what makes up the sales? The result is made up of the number of attempts to achieve that result, multiplied by the quality of those attempts. So you need to generate attempts to get people involved in the project. So how can this be done? How is this done? The simplest steps plus the platforms. We will now look at where you land them. Let's take a look at the standard when it comes to traffic. There's a standard rule and a very well-known abbreviation, which is 3F, meaning friends, family, and fools. So basically, it's just your immediate circle. So these are not professional investors. They're not some kind of funds. It's not some kind of advertising. It's just in the literal sense. So each of you, yes, you should sit down right now. And this is really the first step when you generate this flow, because it can be made up of different components. This is the simplest, the fastest. For me, it was really my parents, my brothers, sisters, even my cousins, second cousins, and close relatives. These were just my people. Friends, I sat down and was looking through my phone book. I spent about half an hour writing down people. I'm writing down names like, okay, I'll tell him, and then I'll tell Fedia, okay, I'll tell him. I spent about half an hour just physically writing down people, and I was writing down not just, well, I mean, in my phone book, I don't know, thousands, 5 contacts, right? But that doesn't mean I wanted to tell all of them about this. I understand that some of them might find it interesting, thousands, 5 contacts, right? But that doesn't mean I wanted to tell all of them about this. So I understand that it was interesting to you. Some people might not find it interesting. I was just making a list of these people to whom, in my opinion, I would sincerely, humanly want to share this information. So this is absolutely the most natural thing. I found out something incredibly cool, and I would even say I would feel, well, like I would be ashamed of my behavior if I found out that there was a piece of gold lying around and I didn't tell someone about it. So I feel like I'm not a very good person because I didn't share something wonderful with someone. So I just wrote down who it would be, like 30 people, I don't know, maybe 50 or 100. So write down exactly this, like I shared this, I shared that, and you'll have your first database to work with. There are a huge number of tools and channels for generating traffic, but I'm sure that if you do this well, it could be your colleagues or maybe people you studied with at university. Maybe it's with the people you hang out with in the evenings. The topic of airships, I can talk about it with anyone. It's just that, I mean, without getting into investments, but just, damn, my buddies are building airships. It's a breakthrough. It's literally a breakthrough. Everyone hears about it, and that's what interests them. So if you work through this list properly and handle it the right way, you won't need anything else. I've never used any advertising. I just created a group on vContactor. I posted on my wall or somewhere else, in any sense of the word, social networks. All these huge companies, you know, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, they were created in a free VK group. That's it. I mean, many people don't see that as wrong, and it works in any country. Next, secondly, you can use, we won't go into detail about this right now, but any types of traffic that you know how to generate. Instagram posts where you have some kind of audience. The question is about the structure, how to do this. We'll talk about it a bit later. So any advertising, I'm just going to leave it at that, any kind of traffic generation. Well, advertising, of course, isn't just about billboards or anything like that. It is, who knows how to work with targeting, Google Ads. And then the summer is one story, who knows how to make videos on YouTube. By the way, my videos really took off. Like, for example, I posted the best content on my channel when we made a motor wheel, and then just Googled something like the most powerful electric bicycles in the world. And I found there were 100,000 views, 200. I Googled something like the most powerful electric bicycles in the world. And I see there are 100,000 views, 200. I just posted something like that in the comments. Have you seen that they're making even more powerful electric bicycles in Russia? Not just a link to my group. I just didn't do it a couple of days before. And it gained traction in the group. What 6,000 people find genius methods? And accordingly, you can each sit down, even in some format. In our practice, we can see who the viewers are, yes, who is watching. Right now, you can be sitting here and at the same time remembering about you. I would tell you about this. My question is, what does the project look like? The project looks like this. So, look, there was a project launch. You all know that it started on the 25th. So it's 0.8 to 0.7. But again, it launched, yes, the project started from here and it took off. So what was produced first? There were people here. Some of them, there are many. I actually physically created a chat in Telegram called Airships. I wrote, guys, I'm going to build airships. We're launching the project. Basically, I created one of the streams that directed into the information wave. About the creation of the airships, which is generally flowing like this, I just generated it. So I sent information about it to 5 people there. It flowed in here. Then, the next day, I sent it to another 2-3 people. Now I will tell you what I said. I think you all, again, saw what I said. I'm just saying, look, we're going to build a generation of airships. Here I will be talking about how we do this without offering to invest. I'm saying, well, I'm going to need your advice. Take a look at how. And every day I was just physically adding a few people here. What's happening here? someone from the people bounces back, someone didn't like it. And someone gets into this information flow, and it moves along with everyone. So the task now is to gradually pass your list through some informational environment, which encourages you to make the decision you need. What decisions do we need? In our initial story, we are taking a closer look at the activities they are engaged in. This involves carefully observing their actions and understanding the context behind what they are doing, which is crucial for gaining insights into their behavior and motivations. We don't invite people to invest because they react possessively to their own. You can come to people and say, hey, just look how beautiful it is, just how inspiring it is. So observe. You invite people. To look is a stress-free action. It's like a funnel. So you wrote down 100 people in your list, and then from that list, you sent out messages to 50 people. Of those 50, 25 people joined this group, and then the list continued. They joined on Telegram, and 25 came to the webinar. Then, let's say, 10 registered. The chain is such that from the list, you decide how many people you will have, how many you will gather next. Out of those 50 individuals, a total of 25 enthusiastic people decided to join this vibrant group. And then the list just kept on expanding. They found it incredibly easy to join on Telegram. And subsequently, 25 of them attended the informative webinar session. Then, let's say, approximately 10 of them went ahead and completed the registration process. The chain is such that from the list, you decide how many people you will have, how many you will gather next. Gradually, you get this little funnel with conversions at each level, meaning the flow, and then people share further. You gradually increase the number of people you shared with, boosting that conversion rate. For example, from 50%, you make it 60%, so you add to it, increasing the quality of your content. Gradually, you get a funnel like this with conversions at each level, that is stocks, then people told you. Next, you gradually increase the number of people you shared. You increase this conversion, let's say, from 50%. You make it 60%. That is, you add it, you increase the quality of your content that you are broadcasting. People really love consistency, even if you just show up regularly. And people, for example, initially didn't want to come here, but they see that you've been doing this for a year already. They're like, what are you doing? So they registered, invested, for example, 5 people invested, and out of them, 3 became partners. And so you have this funnel, which then expands into 3 funnels for the next people who started working with you. And the water flowed again right here. So we increase the number of attempts. Are we gradually increasing the quality of what's happening? How do you broadcast this? We keep an eye on these people in the affiliate program. So what does informational mean? So this environment or informational scenario is what you need to guide people through. How exactly do I do this? Yeah, first, I say, look, I'm writing directly to people, San. You probably saw that we finished our big previous project. We can talk about it like this. The team that built this huge factory, no one thought it was possible. Well, the fact is, it's done. We're wrapping it up, and we're now launching a new project. You could find yourself at the start of a new cool project. Our people, we paid around $40 million in commissions, just so you understand, for this project. And those $40 million, someone took it. It wasn't you, but someone did it. And most of these people have also never participated in affiliate programs and so on. So I just say, look, a new project is launching, like people are building states. And I'm just dropping the link to our pre-launch chat. And I'm sending it. If a person sparks some interest, I just send it over. Here is this 15-minute video from this American blogger about airships. We're going to make our own soon. But for now, he's just talking, not calling for anything. It reveals the topic of airships, about the technology, the features, the pros, the cons, the current situation with infographics, and all the other wonderful things. So if a person says, wow, then I say, look, guys, that is I provide information in small doses with low, let's say, potential excitement towards denial. Like, what are you trying to sell me? I'm just saying, look, guys are doing it. Come on, let's launch. They're going to build a huge project worth tens of billions. We're going to build huge things like this in Russia. They're like, what's this internet? You tell them, yeah, this is how airships work. It's cool. Here's a 15-minute short video for you. They look and then they move on. If a person isn't interested, you just let it go. Maybe sometimes rather than just dropping it, if they say, damn, it's cool. You know, I say, listen, just check out their interview. I send the interview when there's interest. Then I can send how we flew, that is, I give it gradually, just like in a natural conversation. You guys came to the cross, listen, your guys were like, oh, cool. Yeah, by the way, look, if you're interested and have time, listen to them completely. A webinar where Fedya and I are sitting in your seats and broadcasting what we're planning to do. Then if they said, yes, cool, like what made the youth decide? He says, no, wait, not the youth. I'm showing him the conference. I say, look, Kat, I found the next meaning. Look, there are serious guys, there are academics, there are institutes, there's the company that created Oris. So altogether, there's an amazing team gathered there. Look, and we can show it there. You can have humorous informativity. How did you film it there? So I still always create these streams. So then, for example, what am I showing? I'm showing a photo from the conference. I say, look, here, for example, is a photo. This is how it went. So basically, I just guide people through this informational matrix. So I'm not making anything up. First, then, if you guys here are somehow showing loyalty during the survey, I say, listen, go to the webinar. Look, you can become an investor. This is a project where people present online accordingly. The goal after these first attempts is to encourage people to join the webinar. So basically, you're creating traffic, but not selling. The sale of investments is done by us for you at the webinar. So you can either show a recording of the webinar, but people usually prefer it live. And accordingly, the webinar takes place every Tuesday. This is where these academics come in, where we conduct a live presentation of everything in a concentrated form, but you can't just invite someone directly to the webinar. So it's a strange story, like, I'm not interested. Why are you planning to? And the webinar lasts 1 to 2 hours. So accordingly, the next funnel, you just look at the people, warm them up, see who's interested, and just remind them, hey, the webinar is starting in 5 minutes. Look, it's cool, just really take a look. You're not selling anything. You're saying, I'm following this myself, I'm participating, I really enjoy it. That's it. And this is the method of just regular, consistent work. That is, the heart of the business is created at this moment. So all you need from you is just traffic created by any means at all, which you funnel into the webinar. If the person is interested there, you can also funnel not to the webinar, but to registration in the cabinet in VK. Our current cabinet is located on the website. There, where the Vulmash projection is, that's Solar Group. So you need to register there, sign the partnership agreement, and get your referral link. Next, if a person says, okay, cool, I'm interested, how do I invest? So basically, you can have this webinar with him, sitting next to him and watching. He says, I want to invest. You give him your referral link. He goes there and he gets attached to you. So that's it. Then it's investments or people. If he decides to become a partner, if he decides to add one more, they register under you. We have marketing there. We pay commissions, serious commissions, like in an insurance company, like in the banking sector, for bringing a friend. It's not like a passive income in that sense, that people will receive their payouts for investments from the people you brought in. No, people here receive payouts, commissions for the work done, while the profit will be received by investors upon the successful implementation of the project with additional profit generation for this company. So I won't be giving a big presentation right now. So I'll say it briefly. We are going to build a company that will design, develop, manufacture, and operate next generation airships. This company will make money. And accordingly, half of that money will be given back to the investors. Our project implementation lesson is from 3 to 5 years. Accordingly, people who invest money now at the 0 stage will earn about X10, and from X10 over the next 3 to 5 years, accordingly, and more. This is if they will just invest passively and not participate in the partnership program. Moreover, participating in the partnership program is not mandatory. So you personally need to be aware of everything that's happening gradually and constantly guiding people through these funnels, because we will always be conducting. There will be a layer of webinars here, and you should always funnel people through webinars. Plus, we will constantly maintain an informational background here. In other words, imagine a series is ongoing and someone just found out about it, but the series is already on the 5th episode. So when he starts watching a new series, they first show him the trailer from the previous episodes. And basically, you need to quickly get him back to the initial presentation webinar. And from the next, roughly speaking, touch point, he will already be in the current stream. So here the tail is constantly being cut off. Basically, we make a list and gradually send it out. It takes us all time. I really just wake up in the morning to 3 to 5 people. I ask, listen, I understand that they are reasonable, they treat me well. I'm not trying to do anything inappropriate. I'm saying, really, look, I'm doing a project, you know what I'm doing. And later you're going to give me a hard time for not telling you, because that's really what's happening to me. That I missed the train again. Accordingly, the very beginning of the project, an incredibly beautiful project. People will make money on it, a wonderful product. You just do it. You build your structure, you keep an eye on it. Oh, and you know what else I'm sharing? This statistic. I'm sharing the statistics on the funds raised in the open, where I show, look, this is interesting to people. Next, another method is you say the topic is interesting. I know these people, but I don't understand anything about it myself. But if you're interested, I have a person, I'm living with the founder, I'm living with the team members there. Do you want to go to their presentation? You can ask them a question directly. They will all present, and it will just blow your mind accordingly. You gain experience in these processes. And after some time, you yourself will be able to conduct an additional presentation, because a presentation is essentially just a conversation. It's a conversation where you realize it's interesting, you wrap up that topic, and then you drink wine, just like you would with a girlfriend, friends, or anyone. And after a while, when you've learned to do it, you can do it yourself. Start hosting webinars. So I just created a chat, and I said, guys, there's a webinar on the East today. I throw it in there and just say, I'm going to tell you about this today. But it's definitely better to bring them to our webinar. Just say, today there will be a webinar, because we conduct it well, beautifully. There, Fedia explains everything really well. So there are answers to the main questions, like, why do I need this? Like, what will this give me? You'll earn money. You'll be managing a great company. How are you planning to do this? So we're planning to do this. So who is going to do this? Who is in the team? How will the profit be distributed? So that's just the answer to all the questions. And in the end, even if a person has made a decision, no, because, well, really, we have, let's say, an early stage of project development, nothing solid, everything is kind of shaky. But if a person says, okay, I understand you're not ready to invest right now. Okay, can you please tell me, like, when will things happen in the project, for example? When will the Elling start being built? Or when will they launch the first small balloon, for example? And I need to write to you to let you know that he suggests, even if there's acceleration, you still inform. And in the end, let's say in 3 years, when this construction of ours is coming to an end, so you guys are still alive, so you can still build here, which means I can still come in, right? Maybe. So the very fact that you haven't changed your opinion about the project and your regular work is a super strong argument to get everything done here accordingly. That's the whole technique, nothing complicated at all. People, I know for a fact, make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month just on passive. And then the next stage, when you've already learned to conduct webinars yourself, when you're already in this school, you start working not just with investors, but you begin to connect partners and conduct. That's roughly the kind of work. This is actually the foundation. This is roughly the kind of work. This is actually the foundation. That's the coolest part, how you go here and there. So, for example, Roma, you're selling insurance, right? Like car insurance, Osago, Casco, and they can be sold specifically to a person who bought a car, and constantly look for that person and sell to them. But there are others competing with him. And you can adjust your work and think, I want to go and negotiate with car dealerships where cars are constantly being sold and connect them as partners. So for the car dealership, it's the same sale for you, whether it's selling to a client or negotiating with the dealership manager to have him sell your product. Only your insurance, of course, you'll be giving him the lion's share of the commission. Yes, well, but he will be doing a completely different volume from which you take a little cut. So for insurers, for example, this is a very clear scheme. Partnership, it's clear for any network marketers. That is, many people simply have some kind of allergy to it. But if you do it ethically, professionally, and easily, without pushing people or shoving anything down their throats, because if they say no, they say no. Guys, okay, you need to understand that it's a byproduct. To really dig deep, our average check is around $2,000, which can be invested in installments, I think not over 40 months, but at $50 a month, which is manageable for men. You can take a package for $2,000 for yourself at $50 a month, comfortably. People also find it very cool, and it's interesting for the project because we have an understanding of the planned nature of the flow. That's accordingly, the entry is low. There are no other similar offers on the market. So that's great. People who earn and have capital to distribute up to 1 million rubles aren't even approached. So this is a unique opportunity for an ordinary person to enter the investment market. So this is very, very valuable. So it's not a market where they compete for you and so on. So for most people, none of your friends have ever suggested investing anywhere. It never even crossed their minds, because investments for people are associated with millions, tens of millions. This is a venture project. It's at the very, very beginning stage. There's really nothing yet, but we have a very strong product, a big multiplier, and so on. So we study the product, generate the flow, and land it using this method. We're introducing the informational environment. I would create one in your chat. Oh, if I were you. I created my own chats where I share what's happening with me and the directors, and I added people there, and I just gradually supplied them with information. That's the whole method. And I was adding people there, and I was just gradually supplying them with information. That's the whole method. Accordingly, I can show you in statistics how much people earn in these structures. This is passive income that lasts for years, even decades. This is what everyone dreams of, to pull in $1,000 a week of work